All right, good morning. It's March 20th. This is the regular meeting of the District 21 Board of Commissioners. I'll call the meeting to order, and we'll start with pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, I'm Bruce Ansel.
Kimberly McMurray.
Craig Anthony. Joel Nielsen.
Commissioner Crawford is excused, and Commissioner Rigberg will be potentially joining us. Chief, I'm going to turn this over to you at this point, and then we'll figure out where to go from there. But I think you have a presentation for us today.
Yeah, briefly. Thank you, sir. So as pretty much everybody here is aware, recently retired Division Chief Sean Ward died yesterday at 4:25 a.m. after what felt like a brief, long struggle with occupational caused cancer, a brain tumor. Sean was forced to retire in December, not of his own free will, but because he was not able to continue doing his job, and the effects of his illness were too much for him to be able to continue. He had brain surgery. He had his second major brain surgery on the 18th of December, and his official retirement date was the 19th of December, which was a board meeting. That would have been the day that we honored him as he retired. We didn't get to do that. He was never able to come back to a meeting. He's been in either at Harborview or UW or a rehab facility since then. He was this last weekend. It was determined that he had taken a much worse turn for his health, and his daughter, who is his remaining family member, his wife having passed during his illness shortly after he was diagnosed, made the choice to move him to hospice, and he died shortly thereafter. He was able to come home to die at home with his daughter and son-in-law and grandkids, and most importantly to him, his little herd of pugs. So if anybody's looking for a pug, I've got a line on a couple. Right now, what I'd like to do is read his retirement letter in its entirety. I'm not going to edit it from what we wrote in December for him. So I'm going to stand and talk to his picture. So December 2024. Dear Division Chief Sean Ward, on behalf of North Whatcom Fire and Rescue Board of Commissioners and all the North Whatcom Fire and Rescue staff, I want to recognize you for your years of service, achievements, and dedication to the fire service. You've been an essential part of North Whatcom, bringing your vast fire service experience, knowledge, and the tools you learned from Fire District 8, where you began your fire service profession in 1999. You were hired as a career firefighter in 2007, promoted to the rank of lieutenant in 2008, shift captain in 2011, and the chief of support services in 2022. As I look through your personnel file, I see numerous letters citing allocates from a multitude of patients for your care during calls, a unit citation for the Custard train derailment in 2021, correspondence from fire departments for mutual aid or auto aid responses, and for offering your knowledge during their promotional processes. Your experience in all things fire related was highly sought after and held in high regard. Your meticulous organizational skills and willingness to take on numerous district projects made you a valuable asset to the department. From auctioning apparatus no longer needed by the district to station maintenance, IT upgrades, asset management, and keeping the volunteer tender group informed, I knew whatever the task would be accomplished within the expected timeline and well documented for auditing purposes. In addition to your regular duties, you continually ensured that administrative staff had what they needed to complete their daily tasks. Even as you dealt with a multitude of health issues, you showed up and persevered, keeping the district's best interest in mind. Sean, your contributions to the district as a division chief and your public service will be sorely missed. While I'm sad to see you go, I'm so thankful your surgery was successful, and I'm confident you'll embrace retirement wholeheartedly just as you did as a North Wacom Fire and Rescue member. Sincerely, Jason Vanderveen. So I just want to point out, this is our third line of duty death from cancer. And I know you all know that, and I know it's as big a concern as it is for you, as for me. But to me, more importantly, or just as important, is that all three of these people have had their retirement taken from them. So everything they worked for and their families worked for and waited for, and all the missed things, they never got to enjoy because they spent their whole time sick. We as a fire service have got to do better. That's all I got to say. So if we could take 3 minutes, I need to get some air, and then we have some recognition we'll pass on to. But I just need to take a walk for a second.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Let's pause for 5 minutes. once we're back on. All right, back on after a short recess. Kind of to finish off this briefly, I would like if we would all stand for a moment of silence in honor of Chief Warden. Thank you. All right, back to business. Volunteer Pension Board meeting, I will open that. And we have the approval of the February 20th minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
I move.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Any other business for the Volunteer Pension Board?
No, sir.
I'll move to adjourn. Give me a second. Sorry. All right. Meeting adjourned and open the regular Board of Commissioners meeting. And we have a guest today. It's Doug Romano, is that correct? Then do you have a presentation or something for us today?
I do.
Come on up.
Where would you like me to stand?
Yeah, just come on up here and, or anyway, address the board.
Well, I'm here on behalf of the Semiyama Marina. This was very difficult. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I should have warned you more.
Well, okay. Anyway, I'm here on behalf of Semiyama Marina to thank this organization for what they did a short time ago. January 18th, we had a boat fire, and it was attended to by your organization, and it was so professional and so well done. I wanted to come here and thank you personally. I'm sorry for my this something that it's home. Anyway, I wrote a letter to Chief Envy in regards to this, thanking him. I also have a plaque from the marina. Again, I'm here to represent the marina, which I'm doing a terrible job at. But it's to recognize what you folks do on a daily basis. I've been in this area and at the marina for about 20 years, and I've seen countless numbers of instances where your organization has helped in so many different ways. And we've come to, I guess, take it for granted. A lot of times it's just taken for granted. And I think this recent fire put an exclamation point on how much we depend on you. So it's why I'm here, and just wanted to thank you personally. And thanks to Joel, who came out that day. He was there all night long, I think, working on it. Anyway, we've got some other thank yous to give, but the one that I want to present here is a plaque to your organization. And I just can't tell you how much we appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very nice. It's nice to hear that people appreciate our services. I know that I've said all along, this is a great group of employees that do a wonderful job. And we can figure out a way to get the community behind us and support our levy lidlet, that would be awesome. We'll see where that goes. All right, our next order of business is the approval of the consent agenda, which includes the meeting minutes from February 20th, the staff reports, and the financial reports. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Is there any questions or discussion about the consent agenda before I read the numbers?
I have a couple for the chief.
Okay.
Chief, looking at the overtime expenditure for January and February, I reflect on, we spent almost $2 million last year on operational overtime. We budgeted 1.6 million this year in anticipation of the new hires and the benefits they're going to give us. I noticed for the first 2 months of the year, we actually spent $40,000 more than the first 2 months of last year. Is there anything unique about the first 2 months that I need to reflect on?
Yes, the biggest contributor to the increase in overtime this January, February, and you'll see it in March too, is we've got 3 people out. We've had 3 people out, actually 3.5. One on maternity leave, a paternity leave, a long-term sick leave, who is now back on light duty. So he's actually contributing he's contributing to the department, just his shift is open. As well as a long-term sick leave during that period, now back to work on his regular shift due to a family emergency. So really we had 4 vacancies plus 4 more vacancies during that time period. Two of them have been resolved. One, like I said, will be attributing to getting some long-term projects done, but still with 3 shift vacancies. That I don't, to the best of my knowledge, the long-term sick leave situation for the 2 remaining is going to last till June.
So the new firefighter hires, when will they be available to start contributing on shift to reduce overtime?
I'm going to say June 1st. They graduate from the academy on April 18th. They then have about a 10-day EMS academy, and then they will go on shift, but they will be on shift as a 4th, learning the ropes, learning the daily routine before they actually start contributing to plugging vacancies, which is anticipated to be at the latest June 1st. And
It's what I wrestle with is, I looked at the budget and I see the firefighter probably costs $10,000 or $11,000 a month. So when they come on shift and they give us their 9 or 10 days a month, just don't want anybody to be surprised that overtime doesn't continue to be a struggle, because we will have spent quite a bit of money for the first 5 months carrying and feeding and get them ready to go. So there's kind of a payback curve that we really won't see the full benefit of probably until next year.
correct.
They're going to reduce, but they aren't going to, our startup costs are much greater than us old guys remember it being.
Yes.
So, starting on the 1st of June, I don't want any of us to be surprised that overtime is still a very difficult issue for us.
Yes. And
So
that is a great point. And I think you and I spoke briefly about it, but previously it had been the fire services as fire service wide, it had been the experience in the past where applicants were paper ready. They came with their certs, they came with EMT, they had years of volunteering experience, and you could run a short internal orientation academy for 3 weeks and get them on the floor. And whether it's post-COVID or generational changes, we're just not seeing that. We're getting raw applicants, and it takes 5 months to get them to the point where they're going to be an addition to the crew and be an immediate, it's gone to the days of handing somebody a pager and say, watch me and do what I do. It's not like that anymore. And I know you understand that I'm saying this for the benefit of being on public record, but it is definitely a challenge, and you're right. It's almost their first year is almost can't count them, right? It's a long wind up to get somebody, which going into a contract year, I'm gonna if I need a tune up for this statement, I understand, but this initial outlay highlights the need for making sure that we keep our employees, and why we struggle with that challenge of making sure that wages, benefits, work conditions are those that an employee wants to stay long term, because these startup costs are so high. We have to balance those things along with the funds that the public gives us.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Just one more question. I noticed the February call volume was up almost 100 calls over last year. Was there a trend of some specific thing, or is that the new norm?
I think it's a new norm. It could be, I'd have to really go back and analyze it, but it could be that last February was an anomaly, that it was just really short.
That last February was low.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. My false alarm was in January.
Okay,
You were in Palm Springs, so
yeah, it was significantly lower. 398 on average. We were over 450. So last year, this year it's 494. So maybe, like I said,
I need to go back and look at 23.
Well, you don't have to. I thought, okay, is next month going to be 100 more also, or are we back to normal? As you have said many times in the past, people have chosen not to fund our operations, but they continue to call in record numbers. So I don't know what to say about that. All right. So the numbers: total revenue for February, $1,054,758.89, with March expenditures of $909,491.28. Payroll, $429,634.76. Payroll taxes, $101,178.38. Benefits voucher, $272,991.86. Monthly expenditure voucher, $87,102.40. Capital projects, $17,483.29. Capital projects apparatus, $1,159. All in favor of the consent agenda? It's unanimous. Commissioner meeting reports.
I attended the City of Blaine City Council. Also attended the Semiahmoo Homeowners Association. Very well received. I again thank them for their board of directors. Thank them for their support in the levy lift attempt. Went over a few of my past experiences, and I look forward to being involved with them. And I think I'm on my way to getting an invite to be a regular member of one of their safety committees when they're very concerned about wildland fires and urban interface type fires there. So I've lived that life before. So my read of the board is they think very highly of us, and it's not hard to support their views. So good meeting with them. There's a community-wide meeting for the SRA at the resort on the 29th. I'll go just as a resident of the homeowners. But I enjoyed their meeting a lot, and let them know that more often than not, I'll probably be sitting against the wall. Their meetings are very short, and they're very polite when they said it's time for our executive business and you need to hit the road. So, good meeting. That's it for me.
Okay,
Our partnership with Red Cross is this Saturday, meeting at Station 69 at 10 a.m. And it's scheduled 10 to 2, whoever's available. It'll probably be shorter than that, depending on how many houses and how many volunteers. It could be shorter than that, so.
we don't have a number yet. Do they coordinate with like the management there and then figure out,
Right,
have a list for us?
right. And, well, 2 weeks ago, they also canvassed the neighborhoods and told them that we'd be there on the 22nd. And they bring some of their own people as
Right.
well. So,
Okay.
and then thank you to the local for supporting our pancake feed on May 3rd at Station 69. And so we'll also be handing out postcards as we install smoke alarms about the pancake feed as well.
All right. Let's see. Chief and I attended the town hall meeting in Ferndale last Saturday. Kind of typically fire service EMS focused, but we had a chance afterwards to meet with Senator Schremock and Representatives Rule and Timmons and their support staff, asking about our radio upgrade issue. The documentation paperwork requests have been submitted to the committee that will ultimately see that or not see it. It happens at the end of the legislative session once all of the other bills are retired. So if there's a chance to have that looked at and funded, it will be at the end of, 105-day session this year, so end of April, and they said they would notify us either way, whether we get help or we don't, and we've sort of been told that sometimes it takes multiple times before you're heard, but we'll keep asking. I have another Birch Bay Advisory Committee meeting coming up on the 27th. I guess I would ask our fire marshal and the chief my representation there is focused on sort of public safety and emergency preparedness aspects, even though I am a member of that area that has the influence. So I guess I'm looking for any information that I can pass on to that group, because it will be information that will be forwarded for the comprehensive plan of the county. And so if there are public safety issues, and again, this is more with the Birch Bay community area. For me, there's a lot of traffic impact issues. Roads aren't big enough to evacuate or do things like that. But if there's other issues that at least we can have a voice in, feel we haven't been heard in the past, please pass that on to me and I can get that out to the committee. But I think the plan, and Chief, you asked, on the 27th at 4 o'clock, the planning department from the county is going to be there with their maps, and we'll have cut and paste what and you might be interested too, but what the projects that are in the hopper and those that maybe we all don't know about that supposedly are happening. I mean, there's the Jackson Bridge issue that they've been engineering's been looking at that. They're going to replace that bridge.
Which bridge is that?
It's Jackson. It's before the state park, Birch Bay Drive. Goes across Terrell Creek.
Okay.
Was earmarked for replacement during COVID, and it's still on the books. Of course, all of this is dependent on whether federal funding gets cut for projects like this. We've got the roundabout at Bell Road or Blaine Road and Birch Bay Linden. We've got this is outside of our area, but the significant impact, and I really like your guys' input on what's going to happen when they close Birch Bay Linden at Ham Road. Now, one person has told me that's a 1.5-year project, hard closure. And the engineer I talked to the other day said, no, that's a one season. They'll get it done in a 6-month window or something. Either way, it's a hard closure and it's going to significantly impact our ability to get it back.
I think one issue, I don't know if it plays into this group, is ultimately for everyone on that side of the bay, Simiamu and the greater Birch Bay, is the water supply issue, the reliability of water. So I don't know actually who's got their finger on the thumb of that one in the planning process, or if there's critical steps that have to be matched, but that's one real high on my list of things to worry about.
So I know Birch Bay Water and Sewer provides that service to the Birch Bay area. And I know that the chair of our committee was talking about getting one of their representatives there to discuss their concerns as well.
And that is something I brought up to the city manager as Blaine contemplates this UGA move, that water is going to be beyond critical because it's already, the supply isn't there to begin with. And if you want to add this whole other section of, UGA, it's not without some serious infrastructure.
It's critical in our particular environment, we're not like Southern California that has high winds that come out of the desert and the dry. But our issues, be it earthquakes or resort fires or whatever, the critical issues are water and staff. And we need to make sure folks continue to realize the importance of both of those issues, because without one of them, it doesn't matter to have the other one.
Anyway, if you just have some stuff off the top of your head, email me and I'll, as far as total overall plans and details, don't necessarily need that, but at least I'd like to be on the radar for some of those issues so that I can pass them along.
What time did you say that meeting was?
4 o'clock on Thursday, and at the church there at Bay Road and where's that, Blaine Road and Bay Road?
Yeah, Blaine and Bay.
That's all I have. My understanding is the local doesn't have a report, so we will move on to fire marshal.
Marshal report. Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, so you saw the report that was in the packet. I just wanted to add a couple of things to it. I don't know if you recognize Inverness
It's going to be a planned housing development for about 70 homes. I just learned that they lost their finance or something happened and they backed out, so that's off the books now. And also, there's a rumor out there for Horizon. There's going to be more developing up the top end of Horizon, and it sounds like that might not be happening now either.
That was gonna be multifamily. wasn't
Yes, it was. It was going to be duplexes and fourplex townhomes. And it sounds like that's, I don't know if it's on an indefinite hold or if it's been dropped completely, but it sounds like it's not moving forward. Some of the things that are still progressing is East Blaine properties, Martin property, that's the mobile home park, that's still moving forward. And there's still construction for the East Maple Ridge, or the Ridge they call it now. Then a little project I've been working on that came up a few months ago was we responded to a call at Bridgeway Square, and we discovered that even though there's Knox boxes all around the whole property, they couldn't find any keys that would work, or most of the boxes were empty. So they've been working on that. The property manager got a hold of the owner of the property, and they went through and they rekeyed almost every lock in the entire complex now with a master system. So this afternoon, the meeting's over, I'll be heading down there to install those master keys and then put it on our pre-incident plan program so we can start getting that implemented also. We know where the master keys will be located throughout the complex. Yeah, back to the water issue at Semiema, that definitely is number one. I can catch you up on what's happened in the past after the meeting.
That'd be great.
Yeah, because there's one major issue there that I'd like to pass on to you, so you can be ready with that for our meeting. And that's about all I've got for now. Do you have any questions for me?
The Ponderosa development,
Yes, that's
that's
moving
a
forward
mobile home
also.
park,
Yes.
and they're going from 40 to 160.
Yeah, well, originally they did have, I think it was 126 to 130 spots in that mobile home park. And over time, they started pushing people out of there, or people would just leave, and it was reduced down to the 40. Now they're applying to go back up to the 163, so they're going to increase the volume overall.
Yeah, I've noticed that the older units have been removed.
Yes, they've been taking them out.
New units have been brought in, and they remodeled the clubhouse and all that stuff. So at least it might be a more
Yeah,
modern.
they're trying to improve the development, the park, yes.
All right.
One question on Semiamu Road across from New Horizons,
Mhm.
to the north. Do you know the name of that subdivision? They're gonna put in homes or lots along the golf course?
That's the one that has been stopped.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, that was called Inverness.
okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
And that one's been halted now.
Commissioner Reaper is here. Thank you. Okay, unfinished business. Chief, you're gonna be up multiple times here.
Yep.
63.
The RFP is with my subject matter expert. I meant to get it back this week. This week's kind of been derailed, so I haven't pressed him to get it back yet. Get it back and get it published.
That is still at the attorney's, or it's?
No, it's
It's
back
back
from
to
the
us.
attorney. It's back from the attorney. I have it with a gentleman I know from, used to work for HB Hansen, which did a lot of fire stations, public buildings, that kind of thing, to get his perspective on it, and then it'll get published. So.
Okay, all right, so we are moving forward.
Yep.
62.
62, Jessica actually had a good idea, and we turned the water off. That's a savings of $60 a month. We're going to do the same thing with now that the cold weather's over, we're going to do the same thing with the furnaces. Just turn the furnaces off.
Or way down.
Or extremely down, and in an attempt to save,
Yeah, well,
gas. But other than that, there's no
every penny
change to anything at Station 62.
counts. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to figure out our long-term plan there. D4.
D4, they received a letter from the Boundary Review Board, and after speaking with the District 4 attorney, myself and Commissioner Cooley, the board chair, we lodged or filed a letter of protest essentially to the annexation. I was then informed correctly, reminded, I should say, that District 4 had been party to an agreement in 1997, which prohibited any sort of appeal to the Boundary Review Board. So we are pulling that letter. I have let the city know that it doesn't remove the question about the 60% rule, and we'll be seeking different alternative ways to discuss that with the city. But for now, the letter to the Boundary Review Board has been pulled, and I still don't. City staff is not confident that annexation is going to go through, so it may not even happen. But the question remains about annexations, particularly by the city of Bellingham, eating up all of a fire district's revenue and leaving the rural landowners in the lurch. So
Because they have to make up the difference.
they have to make up the difference. And I've spoken with the District 4 attorney about this and the District 4 board chair, and they agree that is taking it to court, whether we can or cannot appeal to the Boundary Review Board is not worth the money, but to get an answer to the 60% question is worth the money. And so that is something that District 4 is going to pursue.
And that would be the Quinn.
Yes, Eric Quinn.
Deputy Fire Chief application process.
We received 8 applications. After a review of the application packets, we accepted 3 for interviews. Those interviews are taking place on March 26th. And afterwards, the board the interview panel is going to be Commissioner Anthony, Board Secretary Jenny Sand, and myself. Even though I saw that Jenny put herself at the end in my chief's report, I'm going to put her before me. And then the plan, after speaking with the attorney on the correct way to do this, is that we will need to hold an executive session, or a special meeting, go into executive session. The board will then present our findings to the board, and then the board will make a recommendation or direct me to offer a job. We have Commissioner Ansel and I have been working as well as staff. Everybody's been involved in it, working on the working agreement, so we can present, when we present a job offer, we can present a contract or working agreement to the person, so that they would, if the contract meets their approval, they would sign it, and then we would announce the hire. So getting back to some of the nitty-gritty of the process, 2 of the applicants are from within Whatcom County. One is from Camino Island Fire and Rescue, so all 3 are Washington State applicants. We did have some out-of-state applicants, but the 3 that were taken to the interview are familiar with Washington State labor law, familiar with how things work here in Northwest Washington. So I think it's a good selection of candidates.
So, let's see, we need to have a special meeting, and I guess, Matt, are you with us now? There? You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry, I'm right here and I'm in the meeting. I'm just gonna turn things off so as not to be disruptive from the middle of everything.
All right, welcome. Does the 27th have issues for you to have a special meeting to address?
No, it's actually, it's wide open in the morning.
So 10 o'clock?
Yeah, that should work in person, I presume.
However you want. This is mainly going to be, this will be executive session to hear the report of the candidate selection interviews and their recommendation. So I would say less than an hour.
If it can be done remote by Zoom
Yeah.
for this coming Thursday, that would be best. But if it cannot, I can accommodate that as well.
I don't know why
Zoom is good.
we couldn't Zoom
No,
you.
we can do it without.
So
All right,
Kimberly,
putting
you're
that in my
available.
calendar.
Greg, you're available.
Yes.
I'm available. So can we set the 27th at 10 and wherever you want to do it?
Do it right here.
Okay, so here.
Yep.
And then we can Zoom it.
Yes.
Yes, we will do that.
All right, thanks.
And we'll notify Commissioner Crawford. I think 10 o'clock works for him
Hang on. Let me.
as far as time, unless he's got some other.
He can make it on the 27th. Commissioner
Okay.
Crawford's a go.
Okay, perfect. All right, excellent. And thank you to the committee volunteers who are going to help us out with that. Any other unfinished business? And the new business, Commissioner Rydberg, you are on hold for our report you were going to give us.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do the 17th, I guess.
Absolutely. We'll put that on the agenda. The only other item, I don't know, we'll call it, I guess, well, maybe it falls under correspondence. I'll take it. Anybody else have any new business issues? Correspondence. So Jessica, you're here. Thank you. We heard from Deborah Hoyt, the investment officer for the county. There's been some discrepancy in numbers. Could you just give us the Reader's Digest version of the numbers? Didn't even make sense to me, but that's not unusual.
Yeah, so after every meeting, we have to move money into from the county's general expense account to Key Bank so that we can pay the bills, the checks that you guys sign. And last month, after last month's meeting, we did the transfers, and it didn't affect Key Bank, but it affected the Debbie didn't. Instead of typing in 721, she moved money for Fire District 1. So at the county level, only not at Key Bank, at the county level, no money was moved into the appropriate accounts for our district. And so it shows the page above this memo that we're in the red on our county cash balance, and that was incorrect. And so she caught it when she emailed me, and in March, and it was too late to go back, and everything will be corrected, and including the proper amount of investment interest and everything received and documented for next month's meeting.
I guess what was confusing to me is it said the withdrawal was for 721,000 or something. I was thinking that was the amount.
Oh,
Not
the
not
account.
The account number.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, that doesn't add up.
Sorry about that.
So
No.
now that makes sense.
Yep.
721 District 21, 701 District 1.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was like.
Everything's okay. And she saw it, found it too late, and they're struggling with some staffing. New staffing. People have left. The person that she normally has do her double check or pre-check has left, and so there's someone new they're hiring, and this wasn't caught in time. But
Very good. Yeah, it was the 721 and the 701 that threw me off.
oh, sorry.
I was trying to subtract those numbers, and it's like,
I'm sorry,
that doesn't add up to.
Sorry.
No, it didn't have a dollar sign in front of it, so my bad. All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
The 17th is our next scheduled meeting. And everyone good for April 17th? Matt, you good?
Yeah, it's in the calendar.
I don't know why mine isn't. My calendar always puts stuff in there that I don't want, but when I want something to be in there regularly, it doesn't put it in there, so. Probably my problem, once again. Agenda items for next meeting. We will continue with our Station 63. I don't know if there's anything left for 62. It's gonna be marginally mothballed. D4 update, will we have anything?
I don't know if we'll have anything new or not.
Well, you can add it if something comes up.
Okay.
Now, what is the deputy chief position? What is our timeline? I mean, if we offer the job and someone accepts it, I'm assuming if they're currently employed, they would have to give notice. Do you have a projected start date?
May 1st.
Okay.
With
So-
the medical, physical, and all the pre-employment
Okay.
stuff, it's gonna
So
take time.
will we need to take action on the 17th?
Yes.
Okay, so you will have a recommendation for a job contract that we will need to approve.
Correct.
So put that on the agenda. And then Commissioner, well, still be new business, I guess, Commissioner Riegbert's presentation.
Yeah.
Anything else? You have issues, concerns about?
I anticipate there'll be a few things to add, but I don't have them formulated. I don't have the title of them formulated at this time. Just around finances and overtime.
Okay.
I think we need to take a more formal look at that.
Okay.
So.
All right. Do we need an executive session today?
No. I was just going to bring you up to speed on Chief Ward.
All right. Any other business before the board? If there isn't, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Matt. Signing of documents, I'll let you figure that out with Jenny.
All right.
All right, we're gonna